Go away, video. What's up,
Wow.
everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Wardcast, your weekly source for video game news, machinima, and survival horror discussion, updates on the ward, and more. I'm your host, Sean Clark, alongside Jazz Rich
Hello.
and Dante Comstock.
7 minutes. 7 minutes is all the time I can spare to play with you.
It's going to be a short podcast then.
7 minutes long.
7 minutes
That's
long.
all right. You ain't getting any more time than this. Oh, wait, did I not do that?
Fuck, I meant to do this. I meant to do 7 minutes. God damn it. Never mind, the big is ruined. I'm going to goodbye.
You failed. Today, we're going to be talking about the new Resident Evil 4 remake trailer, the revival of Silent Hill, the Bayonetta 3 voice actor fiasco, and more. But before we get into that, hey, Jess.
I was gonna say, let me just grab a gun and shoot myself.
How was your week?
My week was good. Actually good. Except that I was sick, so that wasn't good.
That's not so bueno.
But I think I was sick last week too. So it feels like the week between the podcast was short because we did it Sunday, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I was thinking the same thing, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Maybe.
Why?
I don't know. So I started my new department at my job, and I've yet to have that feeling of not wanting to get up and go to work the next day. Like, I'm actually enjoying this. It's a lot less stressful. It's more fun. People are super nice. They were nice at the other part too, but then I had to deal with people on the phone, right? So it's good. It's good. I have fun. Yeah. I think that was my work stuff. Other than that, I'm still kind of getting over this cold. It's mixed with the cat allergies and the dust allergies, so I get sniffly for several reasons. But I did go out today. I had sushi with my mom. That was pretty good. And then we went to this random store called Chef Depot. I thought it was just like, where chefs can go and get like knives and kitchen shit, right? No, they've got like groceries. They got ketchup and craft dinner, so I was pretty happy. But I actually got like a lot of cool stuff. And sorry, it's like going to a baby Costco. Like, you still get nice bulk stuff, but the price is way better, and you don't get like a 3-pack of things. You can just get like individual Costco things. So it's pretty cool. I don't know why I shared that. That was fun. And generally my week was fun. I played D&D Friday like I usually do because I had missed last week, and I was a little sick, so I had to like make stuff up because I couldn't remember half the stuff, but it went pretty good. It's getting fun to DM, so and me and
getting fun.
Well, like, because I'm still kind of new at it, so this was my third game, and it's getting more and more fun. I'm getting more like comfortable just being stupid, and now we're doing it on webcam. Like, the stream was with our webcams on, so I'm literally like acting out things for them. I don't know if they're paying attention, but I don't know. It was fun. Plus, like, me and Carmen have been hanging out a lot because of that, so. It's actually part of my week is that I played a game with Carmen, but I'll get to that in a sec. I've been watching, I think I mentioned I finished watching Rookie Blue. I'm still watching Malcolm in the Middle. I'm almost done, but it's still super enjoyable. I've also been rewatching American Dad, which makes me laugh no matter what, because it's just so stupid. I watched something. I gave up on reading the book for The School for Good and Evil. I'm going to finish it sometime, but I decided to just watch the movie on Netflix. Super different from the book, but still enjoyable. It's like a mix of, I haven't watched a lot of Harry Potter, but I'd say like a mix of Harry Potter and Once Upon a Time and a little bit of like unique stuff as well. So it's really cool. And I recommend it for anybody who, I don't know, is people.
Oh.
So.
If you is a people, you should watch.
You is a people. Oh wait, I played a new game. I installed a whole bunch of games that I want to try to like play and kind of stream more for recording than getting to like, I don't really stream for people except you guys when I tell you, by the way, I'm streaming. Except Sherry and her friends just like raided my stream while I was streaming with Carmen when I was playing Kana, Bridge of Spirits. It's a pretty fun game. I'm really enjoying it. I recommend it. It kind of just starts off and doesn't really explain what's going on. So it's really hard to tell, but I think she's like some sort of Bridge of Spirits called Pena. And it's like, if you like games like Zelda, it gives me vibes of Immortals, Phoenix Rising. A little bit of like Horizon, kind of that style. There's a bull.
A bull.
So I recommend that game. It's pretty fun. And then yesterday I was testing to see what my computer will run on Steam. There's a couple of stupid, really small games like White Noise and like stupid things like that. But me and Carmen played Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. It's this like party bomb defusal game that I had bought years ago, and I had never tried it until now. And I actually sent you a video as kind of like I was recording us playing, and although we had some technical difficulties and I had to adjust a lot of screaming because volume, I just kind of did like a little crop video of like just one of the parts I thought was funnier, just to show you kind of thing. You'll see it's like one person has the bomb and they have to describe the modules that they see, and the other person has the manual. Dante's nodding. I think he's played it. The other person has the manual.
I've seen it. Yeah,
I saw Rooster Teeth play it, and I was like, oh, I have to do it. Based on what you're describing, they have to figure out in the manual like what to do, and it's really stressful. So whenever you're ready, play that video. And this is me and Carmen's experience last night at like midnight.
Okay.
So now the number is 1.
Okay, press the button in the second position.
Okay. 2.
Press the button in the second position.
Oh, you hesitated. Oh, we're good. Okay. 4.
Press the button labeled 4.
Okay. 4.
Press the button in the
In the
Shit.
shit.
in the second position.
Okay. Last one. 4.
Press the button in
The beeping makes you nervous too. What?
the button in the second position.
No! No! Restart the whole thing!
Okay, we can do this.
2.
Okay. What's your big number?
2.
2?
Yeah.
Press the button in the second position.
Okay. 4.
Press button in the second position.
Okay. Oh my god.
What's your
4.
big number. Press the button labeled 4.
Okay. 4. Oh my god.
Press the button in the second position.
Okay. And 4.
Press the button labeled 4.
Okay. Ah! It's 3 wires. Blue, black, blue.
Shit. Okay.
We have no more strikes, and I could just go for it.
You want to just snip it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna close my eyes. Oh my god. Oh my god, I did it. Oh my god, No! The light went green!
I'm so sorry.
The light went green! What the hell?
Oh shit!
The button? I wasn't supposed to push the button?
Was there a button?
There's a
There's a
button that
red.
said detonate, and that's what I did last time.
Why would you hit detonate?
That's what I did the first time. There was a button, and after I did everything, I hit the button, and we did it.
But detonate.
I panicked.
Wow.
I had to re-add that explosion sound. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that was a VR game.
It is, and it's probably
Oh.
way more stressful and more fun in VR.
Yeah, because you've got to like move the thing around. Like you got to look at the back of it and shit. I thought.
Yeah, so you can do that with the mouse. You can just like click on it and rotate it. We were playing a 3-module one, so there was nothing on the back. But some of them there's serial numbers and you have to flip it. And I'm like, it gets so stressful because when she was doing it, I was like, okay, how many? Is there more than one battery? She's like, there's 3. No, there's 4. No, wait, there's more. I'm like, it's okay as long as there's more than 2. And we were just getting like really edgy, like midnight. I was like, okay, I gotta go to bed. I'm like, actually, do you want to do another one? So it's really fun.
I gotta
and
go to bed. You want to do 4 more?
Yeah, I was like, I'm really tired, but let's do it. I'm like wired right now. But I actually shut my eyes and just like clicked a random wire and got it, and then I hit detonate. I was wired. But yeah, that was
I feel like you guys aren't very good at that game.
we got better. I feel like I was less stressed reading the manual and she was less stressed doing the bomb. Because otherwise, me describing things was just like a waste of time. Whereas Carmen's like, there's 4 wires. I'm like, okay, cool. And then my show and tell, I already described it last week. It's a gun. And
it's a gun.
It's a gun. It makes me think of the little shitty little sniper that Joel gives Ellie when she's like, I want a gun. But it's really heavy, obviously, because it's a gun. And it belonged to my grandpa. It's a BB gun, by the way. It's not a real gun. We used to like put little foil balls and shoot them at each other, and my mom had to hide it from us because of that. But hey, it's really good for cosplay if ever, Ellie, you just strap it to your backpack and then have a hard time walking. Little gun. It's really cool. My entire childhood it's been hiding from us, and then I asked my mom if I could have it. So I'm gonna put it in the
Can I have
case.
my childhood back, please?
Exactly. You took it away from you, hid it in a garbage bag under the bed. So I want to put it in a display case and then like hang on his like military service hat to it. So I don't know. I think it would look really cool. But I like collecting stuff and I like having hand-me-downs, and this is 2 for 1. So yeah. Cool. I have gun.
You have a gun. Good.
I have gun. If Satan whine at me at 7 o'clock in the morning, we're gonna have a talk. That's all. I'm gonna switch it to. I believe he's over there. No, over there.
Nope, you had it right the first time.
One of these guys. It's Dante.
You had it right the first time.
You're right. It's Shantae.
No.
Yeah,
See,
John.
No.
No, Alec isn't here today.
Now I'm pointing the wrong way. Fuck.
Oh, fuck. What are directions but just arrows that point in a direction? And
that guy.
They're good job.
Probably that guy.
No.
Hi, it's been a while. Who are you people?
Welcome back. Hello.
Been a long time, comrade.
Been a long time, comrade. I've been hanging in there. I hate this new place, but I put a lot of shit on my door, so I'm able to at least stream.
Literal
this week
or metaphoric shit.
Metaphoric shit. There's like 2 soundproof sheets outside the door, 2 in the door, and then there's 1 more just hanging behind me. That is that black thing you see right there. That is a thing of a sheet to put on the door. But yeah, this week in the new life of Dante and Dante, I've been on top of shit. As you may have or may not have known, someone apparently thought I had 2 of them. Last weekend was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank
you. What he said.
Thanks, Chaz. I did a Twitch subathon, and I only made it to like 1/5 of the goal. So the goal was like 500, but we only made to like 125. But I did play a lot of games with people and had fun doing it. Naturally, you would hope, right? So I played Resident Evil 5 professional mode with one of my friends, Take 2 Action. Also, I know her as Leona. We got to the boat and then we stopped because we died a lot. I forgot how hard professional mode is in being love tapped and dying. And then we played some, the boat. We played some Resident Evil 6 with a VTuber friend of mine who was also one of my voice actresses, Lyrical Nyx, and we finally finished Resident Evil 6 after like months of playing that, because our time to like actually play together was rough. And so now she knows about how ridiculous the story is, that it's just a feud between a couple. I also played some Hitman recently. That I got into the Hitman series. Fun game, really stealthy. I have a clip somewhere where I took down 33 people in an army camp because I got caught and I said, fuck it, I'm going loud for once, and I shot someone in the PP.
That's where you
Like
should
you
always
do.
shoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a headshot.
Cheers.
Yeah, I got some good clips from that too. There was especially one part where I knocked out a guy in the corner where no one should have seen that, and some guy saw it, and I'm like, so I knock him out. Some guys come walking up to investigate the noise. I knock him out, and I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna knock everybody out? I'm in the middle of dragging the bodies the back way. This lady comes, and I'm like, oh my fuck. What is happening? What the fuck is happening? I also did a GTA 5 online big collab with some new VTuber friends I've made since moving here, and I was really drunk that day. I said every 5 subs was a swig of alcohol, which went up to here. Someone gave me like 50 subs. So I drank a lot of alcohol, and I spent most of the heist prep pissing and eating food. And then when the actual heist came, I stopped drinking, but then we died a lot again. There seems to be a lot of dying trying to rob a casino.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to play some crab game with like a few people.
Crab battle.
That was crab battle. Well, there is a crab battle game called Fight Crab.
I know. I want it.
I got gifted the game or something like that to play with one of the streamers on their birthday. It was really fun. I also finished.
What, does everybody get a birthday now? Jesus Christ!
I
Well,
didn't get one.
This one was back in like July 15.
Oh,
Yeah. I got to finish Ape Escape. 100% completed Ape Escape. That was
the
one of the
original.
goals. The original on PlayStation 1.
You played it on? Do you have it on PlayStation 1?
Yeah. When I went to Sac Anime, I came back with the Ape Escape trilogy. Ape Escape 1, 2, 3, and Resident Evil Survivor.
I don't have any of those games. I like those games.
I had Dead or Alive 1, the original PlayStation 1. I came back with what was that? Obscure 2. They had it out there on PS2 and I bought that shit. The Suffering, like the sequel. And I was gonna get Guitar Man if I had more money. It was $150.
Yeah, that game's
but someone bought it. Someone other than me was cultured and they fucking bought it before I did.
Dude, I found once upon a time, I found the PSP version of Guitar Man, brand new.
What?
$30.
There was a PS3 version?
PSP.
Oh, PSP.
I got a family to feed.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
$30 new. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Someone, that same vendor was selling the Klonoa PS1 for like $300. So I was like, oh, fucking god.
That's getting a remake. I wonder if that price is gonna plummet.
No, it stayed because the remake's already out.
What?
I played that. I played the remaster while we last seen each other, and I cried a lot. I'm an emotional wreck from that game.
Why?
At least playing the first one because it's so sad. I can't explain it. It's spoilers. But the first game really makes you cry, and the second game makes you cry in a few ways too. But it hits differently because it approaches it differently. It's not doing the same beat and stuff. But yes, it's a really cute game, and it makes you emotional.
I was not expecting that to be an emotional game. I gotta be honest.
See, so it was supposed to be made for like kids, but also like made for adults. They didn't want like a 100% kiddie game, so they did like this middle ground was what their intention was. So it gets kind of like a little Kirby-ish, a little, but
what the fuck? Kirby is sad too.
No, Kirby. Well, Kirby
he
has
just
like
eats
that moment
everyone,
and then cries.
Kirby sometimes has like some nightmarish boss designs or whatever. And so like Klonoa has like moments like that too.
Gotcha.
But yes, I finished Ape Escape 1. I found out they re-released it on PlayStation 4 and all that jazz, and I was gonna like play it, and then I realized I looked up a video and they changed the voices first we had bad English dub, then we had 4Kids dub for the sequel, and then like the PSP version had like Invader Zim voicing the main dude, like an actual good English cast. And then the PlayStation 4 or 5 version, everyone's British. And I was like,
random.
I'm like, okay, no, I'll take Ash Ketchum being the main protagonist instead of having a British voice. What the fuck? Not like I have anything against the British. It's just like
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't. I
telling
want
Alec.
I want the intended experience is my real goal. I want the actual voice acting that people grew up with and not like this
Right.
new one.
Don't change the fucking actors.
I don't know why they did that. I don't get it. What was the purpose to that? Was it the Silent Hill 3 thing with the rights or some shit like that and they had to re-record?
Probably,
It was so
yeah.
weird. It's so inconsistent too because like they whitewashed the names, right? So one of the girls' name is Natsumi. They call her Natalie in the dub. Then they called her something completely different in the PS4 version of the first game, and then in second game it's Natsumi again. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? They're the same characters. No one's gonna lose track. At least people like me that give a shit. And so then the last game I played was Dread Out 2, the sequel, where it's Indonesian Fatal Frame. Because there's taking pictures of Ghost, but it's like different to a degree. Yeah. And the sequel has more open world maps to explore, and then it goes Silent Hill because sometimes you'll get dragged into the spirits dimension. So instead of taking pictures of the spirits, you fucking slice them up with whatever weapon you're given at the time. So it hits different. When I was playing this like 1.5 sequel called Keepers of the Dark, where you went through like several levels and vanished spirits, I felt fear walking out the door because I'm like, I don't do well with Ghost. But now this game is like not as scary. And I mean, I sometimes still has the atmospheric scare, but I'm like, I'll be fine. It's more like tension, like how I feel when playing Resident Evil and I'm about to fucking die or something like that. But yeah, that's a lot of the games that I played a lot. I've been playing a lot. Variety streamer on Twitch.tv.
Oh, gotta throw on the plug.
Yeah, that helped. I recently hit 500 followers recently, so we're halfway there to 1,000.
I have like 6.
Congratulations. I have like 15, but like I
Two of them are
never do
Sean.
anything with it. 2 of them are me?
I don't know.
What?
Probably.
I did see well, Diz like let me know on like the Saturday night I was streaming that you were streaming. I was like, what the fuck, Sean's streaming? He's actually streaming on Twitch? What the?
Right?
You're playing like some PlayStation 1 game?
Yeah, I was playing with the D.
I'm sure you'll explain to me
Streaming
in your week
Playing the
unless
D.
the D.
No,
That's
that
right.
was
It was
last
called,
week. I talked about that. But yeah,
damn.
you know what D is, right?
These nuts.
D?
Was that one game you showed me that was like a point and click adventure game?
Kinda. It's like a point and click adventure game without the pointing and the clicking. Like you
Or
just
the
kinda, or the adventure, none of it. But it's just like you
Okay.
just try to guess kind of where you can walk and you press forward. And will you go straight? Probably not. You're probably gonna go left. Who knows why? Is there anything there? Probably not. It's very slow and boring and horrible. And apparently it's about Dracula, and I didn't know that. It was
That's
interesting.
what the D stands for.
Yeah, like I always thought it was just like a, I don't know, spooky ghost story or demons or some shit. I never knew that they fucking had some dumb Dracula possession bullshit in there. Anyways, it was interesting. It was very
D
slow.
sucking is what it should be called.
I
but
beat the
then
whole thing in 2 hours. I got the bad ending.
He beat
Speaking
D.
of-
He beat the D in 2
I
hours.
beat the D and got the bad ending.
Woo!
It wasn't even a satisfying finish.
we do these
Oh,
things
yeah.
when Alex not here, and then he's here, and we're like, "Be proper, Alex."
I know, right? What the fuck?
It's great.
I did that you have to make up for the degeneracy by being
Yeah,
degenerate.
We got to fill in the void
And speaking of
with
D,
the D.
speaking of D, there was plans to go play Dead Rising 2 and finish it with Diz. And the only reason I mentioned D is that there is a clip of us where we go to pick up this lady in a sauna, and there's a dildo on the table, and
Oh.
I pick it up, and she's like, "Get that fucking thing away from me!" I chuck it at her, smack, nap. And then I beat a truck with the dildo. It didn't work, but you know,
It
I
didn't
tried.
work. What was it supposed to do?
That you hit the dildo. Oh, when you hit the dildo with the zombies, a lot of blood comes out, making you question: is this like the world's strongest dildo? It's really good.
So
So my show and tell.
You wanted to make the truck bleed with the dildo? Wait,
Take the truck bleed.
let's get away from
Wait.
this.
So my show and tell is the Hitman trilogy, physically owned copies.
All sealed and new and shiny.
Well, except Hitman 2 because I put that in and I installed it and stuff. I'm worried because Hitman 2 is under the PEGI, so I don't know. And 1, I did originally buy
them
1
on Amazon,
digitally, but I bought the physical to make up for it. But now I'm worried that like this one is European or whatever because I couldn't access like the store to see if there was anything extra to buy for the game. If that's the case, I'm fucked.
Did you buy them on Amazon?
Yes.
Fucking Amazon, man.
It's because it ships instantaneously, man.
Yeah,
Jeff
but like
Bezos.
you look at the thumbnail and it's just like a shot in the dark. Like it doesn't matter what the box art is. Who knows where it's coming from? Could say it's, US and fucking be a PEGI game or vice versa. Like you never know what you're going to get. Clarity. Like there's a description, like fucking put it in the description. Let me know what I'm getting. It's annoying.
I know you got like a curse when it comes to like retail in general. So I can only
luckily that's only happened to me like maybe I guess it's happened more than I realized. It's happened a lot. But like what really irritates me is like when it's a Nintendo game because like Nintendo games are more valuable in the US and they never drop in price. So it's like, okay, well I just dropped, $40-$50 on a Switch game. And you basically sent me the knockoff version, like the lower valued version of it, but I paid the fucking full price for it. Like, fuck off. Anyways, what were you saying, Jazz?
No, I was gonna say like Amazon. It sucks about Amazon, but like there's worse things that could happen on other sites. Like for example, if he had ordered it on eBay, like he could have received it, and like the person who sent it could have like partially dented the case, reducing its value. And making it very not. Oh yeah, like kind of like that.
Yeah.
Some asshole could
like
ship you mistake. Fortnite, the best game in the world, the best super expensive free to play game ever.
Chug Gaming.
Oh boy.
That's a shame whistle right there. Yeah.
Duly noted. That's nice. Other than that, I've for watching stuff. It was Spy X Family. And this other anime where they're called like not exactly lovers, but they're married, but they're not exactly lovers or something like that. It's supposed to be like some system where people get paired up to be a married couple with someone and they can only graduate if they become a really good married couple. But the protagonist is in love with his childhood friend, and so is she, but they're paired up with the wrong person. So now they must work together to get an A, because if they get an A, they could switch their married partners. But oh no, there's a romance sparking between the MC and his original partner.
It's The Good Place.
It reminded me of another... Wow, really?
Fork.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'm watching aside from Rick and Morty until they did the thing where they pause in the middle of the season till November 10th.
Why do we do these dumb things?
Why did they do that twice? I don't get it. They did that last season too. I don't know.
Well, it's just like the shit's happening more and more. Like they split the last season of The Walking Dead into 3 fucking seasons, but it's still like 20 some odd episodes. They did that shit with Stranger Things. It's like, oh, let's just stop 8 episodes in and then we'll give you 2 more later. Like, what the fuck is that?
They're also doing that with this anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, their latest part in the series. They gave like the first 12 episodes. We have to wait a few months for the next 12 episodes. But thankfully now we have to only wait a few months, less than normal, for the rest of this part. Where like the argument for us and the fan base is that we should have just done weekly releases like a traditional anime instead of a batch, so it stays fresh in people's heads. But instead they give us the full thing to binge in one sitting and potentially forget about in the sea of constantly releasing anime.
Didn't you do that with Arcane as well? Like they did 3 episodes and then you had to wait like a week or something and then 3 more episodes. which is weekly, so it's not so bad. But
Right.
just give me the whole fucking thing.
I see.
it
Well,
was,
that's the thing. That's that we want we want that, so to speak, just like traditional weekly releases, like an actual TV show, so that we can feel the hype for the next episode rather than just
Nah.
all right,
But-
we did all 12 episodes. Now we got to wait several months to see the continuation. Do I still remember whose characters' names are and what happened? That's the issue with this batch release.
You have to rewatch the whole 4 seasons. You're like, oh yeah, the next 2 episodes are coming out, so I got to watch the whole fucking show again.
And that's how I feel like playing Dread Out, Keepers of the Dark, and the sequels. Like, it's been a hot minute since I played the first game. I don't even remember how one of my favorite girls died.
Probably ghosts.
Compelling.
Probably go. Exactly. All right. That's it. That's your abridged version of catching up with Dante.
That was the abridged version. God damn.
Yeah. Well, because it's been months, so I could have just
fair.
taken
That
up
is-
Alex's slot.
33.1 inches his week. Yeah,
Oh no.
I measured.
Okay, Sean.
Why are you
Okay,
measuring?
Sean.
Hello.
I
No.
have measuring tape.
No.
Sean.
No.
Sean.
No.
Sean?
Sean.
No.
No, not Sean. Hey,
I'll suck your dick.
no.
Not Sean.
Why do you do these things? Hello.
How are
My
you
turn.
doing? Are you okay? Are you okay, Sean?
I'm podcasting right now.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's going okay. Yeah,
us
in
know when
case
you're
you
done.
didn't know.
Welcome
Okay. Yeah.
Have you been hit by? Have you been struck by?
Alec.
Alec, probably.
Alec.
I just realized today that a Plague Tale Innocence came out.
Requiem.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
yeah. Innocence, whatever.
Yeah.
The second one.
News.
The second one. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It came out and I
Yeah.
didn't know and I was upset and I saw it on Amazon and I bought it and it'll probably be the PAL version. But yeah,
Yeah.
makes me sad that you're not
Yeah.
playing it
I know.
because you can't play it.
I
You
know.
need a PS5,
I
even though
know.
I don't want one and I don't want anyone to have one, but you need
Well,
one.
then
So
give
you
me
can
one.
play it.
Give me
Wait,
yours
I
so
thought
can
you
play
had
Wow.
one.
I do have one, but I'm disgusted by it.
Just lend
Well,
it
too
to me
late.
so I
You
can
made
play
your
Plague
purchase.
Tale, and then I'll give it back to you
Okay.
with a
I
dent
did,
in it.
but yeah, I bought it. I had to buy it. So I'm
You
gonna
had to.
it might show up tomorrow. I'm hoping it shows up tomorrow so I can play it over the weekend before I go back to work. But I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Wow.
And then I will tell you how terrible it is because it's probably gonna be terrible.
Don't even tell me anything about it. Don't even ruin anything for me.
Wow, I'm
Not
just
even
gonna
the anticipation.
I'm just gonna say it sucks. That's all.
You suck.
Wow. Only thing I played this week was more Solstice. That's pretty good. Watching Big Bang Theory. I started watching VHS 99.
Really? Big Bang Theory?
It's all right. It has moments. There's really good stuff in it, but it's kind of terrible as well. But yeah. VHS 99, terrible, not good. But that's pretty much it. As I showed you, I got my Fortnite back in the goddamn mail. And like the damage was a little bit worse than I thought it was going to be. It looks like, I don't know, like something like squeezed it or something. Like maybe the
probably
driver
this-
fucking sat on the package or some
Probably
shit.
the guy who like got it.
Maybe, I don't know.
His like mom yelled at him for paying money for that game, so he gets it. He's like, "It was damaged.
Return.
Don't want
yeah.
this shit."
So I have to sell it for less now, which is really annoying. But I might have somebody in line to buy it. But I don't know if I put in a claim in the through the USPS to see if they would like give me something back. But it's been like over a week and I haven't heard anything. So I don't know if they're gonna do anything, which is really fucking annoying because they should at least do like a partial. Like I get maybe not covering the whole thing, but they fucking like it got damaged from the point it left my place to the point, like to the point or between when I sent it and when I got it back, it was damaged, right? And I paid for insurance, so like I should be covered. But I have a feeling that I'm not going to be. But anyways, it's annoying. Fuck the USPS. Fuck eBay. They're garbage. That's kind of it. Yeah, not a whole lot going on this week. Either tonight or tomorrow, I want to stream something. It's probably something spooky for Halloweeny. And hopefully this weekend and then into next week, I can do some kind of a Halloween machinima thingamabob. I'm going to try to work on that. What is that? What is that?
Are we gonna play this?
I mean, yeah, but I need to get. This is my last week to
Oops, I hit the
get
cat.
that thingy done. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to do that. We'll see how that
Thingy.
goes. It would be nice to have a machinima on the goddamn channel.
I'm making one
Finally, are
for
you?
Oh,
Halloween.
man.
Yeah, and I'm gonna need
What are
Dante's.
what
so
are
I think he's still
machinimas?
alive.
I don't
What?
even know
Oh
anymore.
fuck!
Yeah,
Oh my
Yeah.
god! I have to do voice acting. How does that even work?
just one.
Just one voice acting.
One voice acting. Yeah.
Hmm. What are you pointing at? Jesus?
He's pointing at you.
Jesus,
is not
Jesus.
me.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah,
Sean.
that's a whole
Spoo
nother
Jesus.
thing. I'm very behind on that whole situation. But other than
Man.
that,
Jesus.
I watched the Silent Hill and the Resident Evil Showcase videos, which we'll talk about later.
Ew.
And speaking of that, I figured that my show and tells would be kind of themed around
Garbage.
that. So I have the Silent Hill experience on PSP.
PSP.
It is, and it's sealed, and I'll probably never open it. But it's got like 2 hours of digital comics. It's got like behind the scenes stuff, music and whatnot. And
That's
yeah.
already been uploaded on YouTube.
Yeah, like if I want to see what's on here, I could probably just watch it online. But now it can stay sealed forever in the collection. And I have this guy. Thanks to, I don't even remember. I think Lee and Alex sent me this a while back. And it's beautiful. And it's
Allie.
complete. Allie. Yeah. I wanted this for a long, long time. And it is beautiful. It says Resident Evil 4 on the top of it. And yeah.
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is that.
Thank you.
Stranger. Guess what
Hi.
No.
time it is?
Miller time.
Time to play the intro.
Yeah.
It's the wrong one.
Ew.
Ew.
Ew. Ew. Oh, okay, that's fine. Man, why was there so much Resident Evil biohazard in there? It was gross.
I don't have a lot of recordings on my
Jazz.
computer. They were recorded
Oh
for
my-
another project.
Oh my god.
I blame Jazz.
I blame Alec because I don't see
Why
him
do you
doing
blame
anything.
Alec?
'Cause
Wow.
he's not here to defend himself. And
Pick
also,
on
he's
Alec
him.
scared.
and Lee have confirmed that they sent the Resident Evil 4 game.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It gets confusing sometimes because the boxes, like, I don't know, they're
They
complicated.
just fall on your head.
They do, and then I get confuzzled. Yeah. News.
News.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh! The Bayonetta fiasco has escalated and may have also ended in one fell swoop. If you haven't heard, former Bayonetta voice actor Helena, is it Helena or Helena? It's Helena.
Helena Taylor.
Helena Taylor.
Elena.
Helena Taylor is no longer voicing the role in Bayonetta 3. Instead, semi-well-known voice actor Jennifer Hale took over as the protagonist.
Semi well known.
I
No.
I
she's
know
big.
her really
She's
well.
big
I
now.
thought so too,
Her
but I
name
did
sounds
like
really familiar.
I researched her voice
She
and I was
did
going
like
through her
Metal
IMDb,
Gear.
and there's not a whole lot. Like there's
Like
not a whole lot of like
whole-
really big things on there. But like I'm familiar with her personally, but like I don't know. I just
Oh,
thought
you
she was
know her?
bigger than she was according to IMDb. But anyways, yes,
Well,
Jennifer
Jazzy played
Hale
Metal Gear, right?
She's female Shep. That's
took
why.
over.
She did Naomi in Metal Gear.
But she's female Commander Shepard.
Right. That's her. Yeah, that's her biggest credit. But really, outside of those two, like she's not like that big of a deal. You know
She
what I
was
mean?
in a lot of Lego games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress.
What?
Huh?
What?
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 Bayonetta 3.
Oh.
So Helena Taylor was replaced by Jennifer Hale. She claimed that the reason for this was because Platinum Games offered her an insulting $4,000 flat fee to revisit the role for a third time. She took to Twitter and shared this information for all to see, breaking an NDA in the process. She went on she went on to encourage anyone who planned on buying Bayonetta 3 to boycott the game. And furthermore, she blasted Jennifer Hale and Platinum Games on social media.
Girl.
Now, according to reports by Bloomberg and VGC, Taylor was actually offered quite a bit more than she claimed, and the story seems to swing wildly in Platinum's favor. According to documentation and two people associated with negotiations, Platinum offered Taylor a 5-session deal lasting 4 hours apiece. Each session would have paid her $3,000, between $3,000 and $4,000, amounting in no less than $15,000 total, for what boils down to 2.5 working days compared to like your average white or blue collar employee. Additionally, this is said to be a substantial increase over what Taylor was paid for the second game. According to the report, Taylor rejected the offer, instead asking for 6 figures and residuals. After what is said to be lengthy negotiations, Platinum decided to move forward with Jennifer Hale instead. After the recasting, Taylor is said to have been offered a cameo in some form that would have paid her the fees for 1 session. So that translates to 4 hours and between $3,000 and $4,000, which she turned down. And if you remember, $4,000 is what she claimed she was going to be offered for the entire project, which she essentially, turned down twice, and it was substantially more than that. Taylor refuted all this and stated that she just wanted to move on from the franchise and pursue theater.
The bloody franchise.
The bloody franchise, excuse me. But, as with all stories, there's two sides, and I don't imagine that Platinum is completely, free of any wrongdoings, but, because they did publicly state like, she was recasted basically because of scheduling issues and whatever. So that's a little kind of suspect, but I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of proof out there to kind of substantiate these claims. And Platinum could have been saying this for her benefit, like, oh, it was scheduling conflicts because we don't want to kind of shit on her the way that she reacted and whatnot. It could have been like their PC response. There's no way to know that for sure. But, we kind of talked about this in depth last podcast, how this should have been handled. And this is part of why, right? Like, why the fuck would you put this out into the public view, especially when shit like this is most likely going to happen, Like, the other side of the story is not going to be completely silent while you go out there and start, like, bashing people, and keep bitching about what you're making and, oh, these people are the bad guys and whatnot. There's going to be blowback. So, like, you should probably have your ducks in a row before you start doing shit like that. But hey,
especially if you're like with Nintendo, like if there was going to be any like reason to believe that anything Helena Taylor said was right, it was probably good because of Nintendo's part, because they're really, really cheap and they like to pull those cheap stunts. But like with this now up in the air, like she blew the NDA, and technically speaking, like they don't have to like be so nice and respectful to Helena Taylor at this point. They could just full out blast out what the contract was. They don't even need to hide it because the NDA is broken. They could just checkmate her right there and then to prove otherwise. But regardless of like whether who's right or not, her career kind of just got fucked in the butthole just by this whole fiasco period. Whether she was right or wrong, it's going to be like the God, what was his name? I'm still waking up, so I don't remember his name. But there was that other voice actor who got caught in the scandal. Oh, Vic Mignogna.
Oh,
his career got all screwed over because of that whole thing, and now he had to start his own company just because of it. But that would have to be Helena Taylor's next move. She still wants to keep a career, but otherwise, it was nice knowing you.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, she didn't even really have much of a career to begin with. Like, again, if you look at her IMDb, like that was kind of the only thing that she was really known for. So I think that she was more of like a theater actress, and somehow maybe she just got an opportunity to be Bayonetta, and then from there, she just kind of ran with it. Probably made a good amount of money within a short amount of time, and then wanted to kind of continue to do that. But now that this happened, like that's gone. You know, any potential that she had to have a career in the industry is gone. But yeah, it's just
yeah,
it's unfortunate. You know, there you shouldn't do that kind of shit. You know, like just there's no reason if her side was legitimate, you know, there's no reason that you can't just address that with a company, you know, behind the scenes. And then if you know there's no fallout like that that's going to happen to you, and you can just move forward from that, or quietly kind of disappear into the you know into your theater shit or whatever. You don't have to make yourself out to be the villain, you know. And where did that get her? Nowhere. You know, she lost a good paycheck too, because like yeah, I get, you know, there's a lot of voice actors out there that do make really shitty money. And from this, if all this is accurate, she's not one of them. You know, like if you look at that 15 grand for a couple of days work, not bad, right? So like to bitch about that is kind of dumb. Like you deserve you don't deserve the role. And then she shitting on like Jennifer Hale and Platinum Games and all this shit. Like that's just fucked up. I don't know.
she has no right to play Bayonetta.
Right.
It's kind of turned me off from
Yeah.
like playing Bayonetta at this current moment. Like I wasn't interested in playing 3 during this fiasco, and now it's like I'm not even sure if I want to play like 1 or 2. I wanted to down the line for like, you know, a Twitch stream for Aya's birthday to, you know, which celebrates which, but now I'm just like now I have to think about that dumb scandal, and it ruins the game just a little bit. For at least for right now, I just know that I'm not motivated to play Bayonetta 3 or 1 just because of that scandal.
I don't know. I feel like that's not really fair, honestly. Like even if you side with her, you know, with I want to call her wow, Helena.
Helena.
I want to call her Helena, not Helena. But anyways, even if you side with her, like I still feel it's the wrong decision to like boycott the game or like, oh, I don't want to play it anymore or whatever, because you know she's one person out of a you know multiple teams. Most of them have like way more buy into it, you know, like the developers and the writers, the producers, everybody that really created the game. Like yeah, the voice actors contribute to the overall feel of the characters in the game and how people are attached to it and whatnot, and that's an important element. But at the end of the day, like to boycott it because of one actor, like that's kind of fucked up to all the people that spent all that time investing and working on something that, from what I can tell, looks really good. You know, looks like it's going to be a quality game. And, you know, for people to just not support it based on something like that just seems dumb and unfair. But, and from what I've seen, the evidence points to Platinum being in the right here. You know, there's way more evidence in their favor than against them. So I'm pretty sure that they're the ones that are right here. But everybody's going to make their own individual choice here. But you know, I think you should just think about the ramifications of like what that choice means. And two, like you could boycott Bayonetta or Bayonetta 3 for whatever reason, and then well, guess what? There's going to be no Bayonetta 4, right? Bayonetta almost died after 1, right? So Nintendo barely kept that franchise alive. So if there's like a third title and nobody buys it, then they're not gonna. It's just gonna disappear, and we're never gonna see it again. And for what? You know, because a voice actor said that they didn't get paid enough. It's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
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 But anyway, we'll see. And either way, it's kind of funny because all these spotlights and articles and conversations going on about Bayonetta 3 have just made it more popular. Like pre-orders have been rising, like sales are going to be way higher than they ever would have been before just because it's getting so much attention. So it was kind of counterproductive at this point. But something like that could have gone the other way. You know, a lot, like the majority could have favored her and then tanked Bayonetta as a franchise, and that would have been really unfortunate because it's a good underrated franchise at this point. It doesn't really deserve to be destroyed like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
And isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Sony is launching
What is
a
this?
Pro controller to rival Xbox's Elite controller. The new
Huh?
dual edge controller will launch on January 26, 2023, and will offer button mapping, adjustable trigger hair locks, and replaceable thumbstick modules. The controller comes with 10 interchangeable pieces to customize the feel of the controller, a USB cable, and a carrying case, all for the low price of $200.
What in the fuck?
It's half the cost of the
Low
system to get that
price.
controller. Well, almost $50 short of being half the value of the console itself. I don't understand how there's a market for these controllers. Like, I thought it was kind of ridiculous when Microsoft released their Elite controller for like 150, I think is what it was going for, just so that you can, map your buttons a little bit more and do a little bit of customization. Like, is there really a market for that? Like, who buys that? It's very weird to me.
The people who blame the controller.
Yeah, but then there's no excuse. Like, you're robbing yourself of that complaint, because like if you buy a $200 controller and you're still trash, well, get fucked.
Wow.
I mean, come
Well,
on.
that's
Like,
the decision they made with their money.
you better be playing at like a pro level at that point. Yeah.
Like a bouse.
Like a bouse. Capcom is sort of considering a Code Veronica remake. While speaking to Noisy Pixel, Resident Evil 4 producer Yoshiaki Hirabayashi said that right now they are focusing on Resident Evil 4, but if the opportunity comes, the company may remake Code Veronica. So, I
Why
mean,
does she look cross-eyed?
because that's how she looks in Remake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's all that is. It's just a skin from Resident Evil 2 Remake. Sometimes Claire looks a little funky in that game. But yeah,
Sometimes.
it's I don't know. It's news. At least they're not saying no, we're not going to do it. But when I was kind of
I mean-
poking around reading articles, like somebody pointed out the fact that like Code Veronica, it does get overlooked a lot, but it is a pretty substantial part of the history of Resident Evil. It was like the turning point for a lot of like the modern storytelling elements of Resident Evil, like implementing, rival corporations and, like where Wesker ended up, that kind of really introduced Wesker as the villain, which was really important. It gave Claire, a big chunk of her screen time within the series. She doesn't have a lot of games in the franchise. So to kind of cut that out does the whole story like a big injustice. So I really feel it's important for them to go back to it. But even if they do, it's kind of awkward, because since it is a pivotal point in the story, to go one or to go 2, 3, 4, and then Code Veronica is just kind of, it's taking the emphasis off of the importance of that game, I feel like. So it's a weird decision. And honestly, since they did skip it, I feel like the only way they're going to go back and do a remake is if they continued to just do stupid numbers on these remakes. If 4 does really well, and then whatever they want to do after that does really well, and they like run out of other things to remake, that's probably the point that they're going to do Code Veronica. And that's really unfortunate, because that game is one of my personal favorites. And again, it's an important part of the story. So like, what the fuck, Capcom? Why?
It's great.
Well, we
How
already
dare
know
you.
they went for 4 first because it's the low-hanging fruit. So, like,
Right.
Code
Yeah, I mean,
Veronica-
the path that they chose is very obvious, right? They
right.
they
Save the
did
best
2
for
because
last.
of the popularity. They did 3 because, like, why not? If they're doing 2, they might as well make that alongside of it, because they're kind of part of the
Even if it
same
was
arc.
a shitty job.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It was an easy thing to do to make a good chunk of money. So yeah, of course they did 3. And then the obvious next choice is going to be 4, right? The biggest game that they have in, throughout the company, right?
And the whole like introduction to the way they've been doing these
Right.
RE engine remakes. So it's like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, guys, let's do it where it all started.
Yeah, but 4 is going to be interesting because it's going to determine where they go, because it's a high bar to hit, and if they hit it, then I'm interested to see what they tackle next, because they will. It's guaranteed they're going to continue to do remakes if 4 is successful. But if it's not, I think it might fade away. I think that might be the end of the remakes. But we'll see. Speaking of remakes, Resident Evil 4 remake.
Who's that?
I don't know, some Leon guy. I don't know.
Never heard of him before.
He's
Who
a new
voices him?
character. Some jerk. All the voice
Yeah.
actors that ever voiced Leon, they're terrible.
Yeah.
They're just
Oh
terrible.
yeah.
Mhm.
Especially there's like this one guy who starts with a D. He really fucking sucks. You should never voice him again.
Yeah. They're all garbage.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a little viewage of the trailer real quick, and then we'll go over some details, and then we'll discuss a little bit.
Good. I need a
little
refresher.
bit.
A little
Yeah.
bit. That's
A
an
little bit.
understatement.
Wow. All right. Let me see if I can play the right video. Hold on.
Here's
It's the
intro.
news.
It might
Yeah.
be the news. Prepare yourself. It could be the news.
You're here looking for someone? Maybe. Some missing señorita?
Ashley, where are you? Your soul requires cleansing. Ashley Graham, are you in here?
Just let me go.
Listen,
She not wearing pants.
I'm hearing the president's orders and
What is that? What do we do?
the Lost Lambs are escaping. We need to go. I'm gonna get you home safe.
You can stop right there.
Ada, who are you? What are you doing here?
My faithful disciple will show her the path.
Ashley, run!
The entire world shall overflow with his grace.
What's happening to me?
Now, abandon your body.
Leave the girl. She's lost no matter what.
Now that he has chosen death.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Gun.
Wow.
Knife parry.
Yeah, we're not gonna watch the other trailer because that one's kind of long. But-
That's gameplay, and it's really
Yeah, it's too long. But yeah, they showed a good chunk of gameplay as well, alongside that cinematic trailer. And I don't know, I'm still mixed on it, but I'm definitely more excited at this point than I was before. Before I had zero faith, but what they showed was actually pretty impressive, I thought. What did you think?
It's garbage. I don't want to play it. I'm kidding. Yeah, no. Here's the thing. So let me start with the. Obviously, they're going for the
With the
darker, the
eh?
more serious. Yeah, we're starting with the darker, more serious tone, because Sadler doesn't have like that voice that I gave the discount to Russian because it sounded like a little bit of Russian to me. Mendez doesn't. I'm assuming that's Mendez who's done the cleansing line. He doesn't have a unique voice himself either. Lewis looks fucking ugly.
He looks like a
if you
creep.
yeah, he looks more of a creep with the shorter hair and less of a ladies' man. No disrespects to the face model. It's just it doesn't work.
Could too be like every time they show him, he is kind of doing like some kind of weird facial expression, and like with the RE engine stuff and the mocap and whatnot, just like with a Resident Evil 2 remake, some of the early stuff that we saw with like Claire and whatnot, certain
Right.
scenes and certain frames, make them look really fucking weird because of that. So it could be better than we think it's going to be, but like initial impressions, yeah, like it is a little weird. But again, you mentioned things being like darker in tone, and I feel like it kind of works with that because like he's this like
Yeah.
creepy guy in this, for like new players that don't know who he is. He gives you like a vibe that you don't want to trust him, you don't know where things are going, and I'm sure that's what they were going for, and it works. But being an original fan, it's like, well, it's not really what we wanted, but I can
Right.
I can wrap my head around it, and it could work potentially. It just kind of depends. Like we need to see a little bit more.
Yeah, and this darker tone like makes me worried that we're gonna lose some of the campy nature because like
Mhm.
Sadler, while being a villain, he still had at least some form of like playful villainous tone to him, especially with the back and forth radio conversations. By the time it's his time to actually be on the radio, like there's confidence exuding from that. And then Salazar, holy shit, he's like. He looks ugly as fuck, but that's like fine because he's a villain. But I'm worried that he won't have like he was where the campy tone like shined the most. That reflected well in our respective parodies because of that. He looks a lot more serious with his current tone. Otherwise, I think I felt like I'm hearing Mia's voice actor in Ashley or something like that, or was that for like Hunnigan? One of the two. I'm hearing the recycled assets again for voice actors in this game. I think if Nick Pasta is still voicing Leon, he's doing a good job sounding like Resident Evil 4 Leon than he did in the Netflix movie show thing. Because I was like, oh. He's shouting, and he still has his low voice. He doesn't sound like younger Leon again.
Yeah, that's kind of a concern, but could also be a good thing too, because like depending on why that's there, because he does kind of go back and forth. I feel like, at least from the little bit that we've heard, sometimes you can hear RE2 remake Leon there, and then like you said, there's times where he does a good job imitating what we had before. So what does that mean? Does it mean that he's going to be all over the place, and sometimes he's going to be nailing the role, and sometimes he's going to revert back to that other version of Leon that's totally not going to work? Or does that mean like, there's kind of like an emotionally driven balance there, like a dynamic where like he is kind of still that Leon to a degree, but like, as things are going on, he's kind of becoming the version that we know him to be, that kind of evolution. Because they did talk about the fact that they are, focusing more on story and like character driven emotions and stuff like that. So like if they are legitimately putting an emphasis on the growth of the characters in that way, I feel like that could be a really cool thing. But I feel like I'm probably reading into that more than I should be. It's probably he's just going to be kind of all over the place in terms of his acting, and that sucks, but we'll see.
I'd like to see that he's had that growth since that movie show, because
I hope so.
like it was there, but it needed a little more polish, and maybe he's gotten more accustomed to trying to do a Matthew Mercer like Leon for his voice, because like he always talked about, like if he has to do Resident Evil 4 Leon, he's gonna have to try the more grown approach. Like he understands as a fan of Resident Evil that he's got to like step his game up to fit the role. So I'm thinking he's doing a good job on that. It sucks that we can't save the dog. That's bullshit.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb.
So I guess El Gigante is just gonna be El Gigante without a dog. Knife Parry's fucking cool.
As much as like we, especially as like machinima creators, right, using little elements like that within our scripts is great, but in terms of just like consuming the story, it's pretty irrelevant. Like, yeah, you save the dog, he distracts El Gigante for like 30 seconds at best, and then
it's a nice little gesture.
It is, but it's not like removing something like that isn't dire, like killing off the dog. At least they acknowledged the dog. They didn't just get rid of it straight up. At least it's like, okay, yeah, we know about the dog. The dog is dead. Darker tone. It's kind of driving that home. I get it. I would have preferred to have the dog in it and for everything to, continue to be in it and be true to the original. But things like that, I feel like there's bigger things to be concerned about. A lot of people are
whether they
flipping out.
really removed Jack Krauser or not.
Right. That's the bigger concern. If he's gone, that's a fucking problem. The dog I can deal with. He was useless, the dog, anyways. Now he's even more useless than ever.
Useless the dead.
Useless the dead. There you go.
A knife,
In fact,
the whole knife.
I already know how I'm addressing that in my machinima. So it's fine.
What dog?
What dog? Yeah.
Ashley?
The new knife mechanic, the fact that it's back to being like its own inventory slot and with apparently a durability is an interesting choice. But I guess that the fact that they have like the whole upgrading and repairing knife system is something in itself. The whole like actual merchant being more useful than the merchant that he was before is also an upgrade because crafting ammo, trading items, more than just buy and sell and upgrade. That's whack. I just have beef that he sounds basically like the merchant in Village, and I'm just like, ew. I don't want to be reminded of that merchant when I'm talking to the merchant, the OG.
The merchant.
In Spain. It's just like a mini mall. Yeah, I see that they really address to make sure that they want to like make this remake but still respect the original so that like old players don't feel like, oh my god, they Resident Evil 3 this shit. So I give them credits because so far what they've shown, it seems to be upholding that. But obviously, like you said, we still gotta like uphold our skepticism because there's just gonna be like the Jack Krauser and maybe the potential loss from this more serious tone of Resident Evil.
Well, they did confirm, like, yeah, it is going to be darker, but it's going to have humor in it. Like, Leon is still going to be quippy and, he's going to make remarks and jokes and shit like that, like he did before. Maybe less. They didn't really clarify, but it is going to be in there to some extent, which is good. It gives me a little bit of hope that they're not completely just getting rid of like that lighthearted aspect.
They're not clouding him.
Important. Right. That impacts the character. You're changing the way that Leon is, and that's not great. So as long as they are faithful to that to a degree, enough of it for it to, matter, then I'm okay with it. Because honestly, I feel that was one of my issues with Resident Evil 4 initially was that, it wasn't horror. It was like tension horror or whatever. But to see them kind of take another stab at making it more of like a survival horror, darker game is interesting, depending on how that pans out.
Right. I just want to make sure that if he still has his quips and jokes, I still want him to have his moments where he does those one-up moments against like the people he's going against, especially in Salazar's case. Like I'm really emphasizing that we need to make sure that the Salazar dynamic still exists. So otherwise, if we don't have like all that back and forth banter or comedic shit going on, that's gonna be another like big damage to like, oh, it got so serious that even when he's still quippy, he doesn't have like his fun moments that make Salazar fucking lose his shit and have like the good.
Yeah. You're gonna start wearing purple, do you think?
I have a feeling that he's not, or that the villain characters aren't
New
going
Sadler
to be quippy, which could suck.
Yeah,
like you're not going to have those moments with Salazar and
Sadler.
Sadler, yeah. But we'll see. It's hard to tell at this point. But the fact that they acknowledged the fact that people want that and they acknowledge that it is in the game, at least gives a little bit of hope that they are going to be truthful enough to the original that it's passable. I feel like at best it's going to be like RE2 remake again. You know, where it's like, yeah, it's good. They did a good job. Not exactly what we wanted, but it works. Like, I feel like that's kind of the goal here. And I think that so far what they've shown here keeps the door open to getting to that point. And I feel like that's a fair place to land. But we'll see.
The other nice thing to see that we saw from that trailer is that, I don't know, maybe it sounds like Ada is a little more involved, seeing that she actually, you know, might have been present with Ashley in the same room. So it's be like, instead of just being that one time Ashley saw us or whatever. I'm not sure how to feel about the new face model. I mean, it may shows a more older Ada. We got a whole new voice for Ada. That throws me off just a smidge too. Her drip looks more like Resident Evil 6, which I guess, you know, she can't be wearing. We can't have sex, guys, so we can't have the red dress Ada. And all that jazz, but it's fine. Ashley, I still love how I called like the Ashley model with the coat, but I guess now it's like in Ashley colors because it's orange now, instead of like that other trailer that showed it was a little more looking red. If anyone noticed that her coat changed a lot. And gun.
Ashley has a gun. Leon finally gave her a gun.
And does he regret it?
Time. Of course he does.
The context looks like, yes, she's going to regret it because it looks like that's going to be their new possessed Ashley scene. That
made me happy for one reason alone, because that is like dual gold for me.
Boss fight.
Like, that is
fight with
perfect
Ashley.
for me. I need that. So I like initially it's like, okay, well, they're changing it. So what does that mean? There's that, but it's also like, what can I do with this to make content as well? So I'm like looking at it from two different lenses, and it's interesting. One of my concerns though is like how are they making the interaction with the merchant? Because that could fuck up everything for me. Because if you look at him in the trailer, it's like when you're going through the store and like every interaction they show with the merchant, there's like a table there, you know? So it could just be like limited to a storefront only, where you don't like see the merchant off in the distance, you know, like maybe it's in between like chapters, or, you know, like through a cutscene, he shows up and then boom, you go right into like the shop interface. I'm kind of concerned about that being a thing. I mean, that doesn't affect the game in general, but it definitely affects me as, you know, creatively when I go to do something with, you know, duel related.
You mean you just can't run by and shoot the merchant every chance you get? Oh, right. No.
That would be a big roadblock for me.
Have you ever considered not shooting the merchant?
No, never.
He's got like lots of good things on sale, and you should really take up on his offer.
Fuck that guy.
The merchant will remember this for future dialogue options.
I feel like Ashley's, like, her face is fine. I think it works. I just don't like her outfit. 8 is the same from Remake, so, you know, it's whatever. Again, outfit, not great. Not a fan of that. I can get over it if they have unlockable original costumes, but I really doubt they're going to do that. But
I think they will, along with the DLC or the extra additional costumes. I'm just worried about
extra.
I'm just worried about what the fuck Ashley's are going to be, because clearly we're not getting the classic Ashley because we can't have sex.
The suit of armor, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they don't have that, that's going to be really disappointing, and I don't expect them to. So that's kind of shitty.
We're not getting McBoober Ashley. We're not getting the Britney Spears outfit.
Well, that's fine. I didn't really like that outfit. I just want her original outfit. That's what I want, but I'm not going to get it.
I like the McBoober outfit. She looked good in white.
I don't like the way that Salazar looks. He looks like a shriveled old lady / George Washington kind of thing.
You know what he reminded me of? He's got like a clicker vibe.
Beethoven.
Did like if a clicker just still remained human and had eyeballs. No?
I thought he looked like Beethoven.
Beethoven.
I didn't really get that vibe. But I don't know. I don't like the design of him. I don't like Sadler's voice. I don't like Lewis's voice.
I don't like Ada's.
Even though I feel like Nick is doing better, like we talked about, I still don't like. I don't think it works. You know, it's better than I was expecting, but I just don't like it. Hunnigan is great, visually, and her voice I feel like is good.
She's still in a chair.
Well, you can see her body this time.
Mhm.
You know,
What?
Yeah.
yeah.
How
Instead of
dare
just
they
like
show
the
her
top
body?
of her head.
Yeah. She's
That's
got rights, you
inappropriate.
know.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
How dare she be more than a head? Oh my lord.
I thought
I just
that
always said she was in a wheelchair.
I think that El Gigante looks really good. I thought that Mendez looked good too. Looks kind of like what I would expect him to look like. He gained a hat, but other than that, I feel like it's good. I like the how they have some of the villagers with their head like fucking like their neck broken and kind of off to the side. That was really creepy and cool. I like that. So there's things that I feel like they're doing. Like I feel like it's in the middle at this point. There's enough in there that I'm very skeptical, and there's enough in there that gives me way more hope than I thought I would ever have. Because like last time we saw something about Resident Evil 4, I was completely not okay with it. But like now I have some hope. So I'm turned around a little bit to some degree.
They're
We'll
not going to
see.
remake 3 it, but they're not going to 100% remake 2 it.
Right. It's
in
probably
terms
going
of
to
quality.
be, yeah, it's probably going to be in between the two if we're lucky. But that's a better place to be than where I was before, where I was just like, no, I'm going to hate this. So it's good. I was
Hey,
pleasantly
and you're going to play it
surprised.
on your PlayStation 5 too.
Right. Yeah, that I didn't need to buy apparently. Uh, but yeah. I was actually I was shocked because like watching the trailer, instead of just dread and anger, there was some optimism and excitement for a change. It was a weird feeling watching a fucking Resident Evil thing and having some kind of hope.
Positivity from
Yeah.
Sean?
What the
Oh my
hell?
god, we're in a different dimension.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wild.
The knife thing I think is interesting. Depending on, I don't know, I feel like it could kind of break some of the dynamics a little bit, depending on how they do the repairing of the knife and whatnot. But you know, I kind of went through and read a couple articles about it. But the knife, outside of, you know, the normal uses, cutting boxes, cutting enemies and whatnot, you can do follow-up attacks. Like once you knock somebody on the floor, you can kind of do like a RE5, RE6 style like finisher move with the knife. You can use the knife to break away from enemies like you can in RE1 remake and RE2 remake. You can parry now, which is the really interesting thing. It looks really cool. They showed Leon parry the Dr. Salvatore, and like that's kind of what I'm talking about in terms of potentially breaking the game. You know, because if you can parry him, that hurts like how threatening he is, right? If I know I've got a knife and I can parry, right, it completely changes the dynamic between that enemy and the player. So, like, what other things can you parry, and to what degree, and how much does that damage your knife and whatnot? It's cool. It looks cool. It's an interesting idea, but I hope it doesn't fuck up the experience. In regards to the story, there's going to be, we kind of knew this, but there's going to be a bigger focus on the story. They mentioned specifically that they were approaching it kind of like a post RE4 game, because like from Resident Evil 5, 6, 7, they became more story driven, for better or worse. You know, there's a more of a focus on story than gameplay, or more of a balance of the two. So they're approaching Resident Evil 4 remake in the same way, where they want it to be a more cinematic story driven experience in addition to the gameplay, kind of like they did with 5, 6, and 7. Their words,
7.
not mine. I kind of disagree with 7. 5 and 6, yeah, those were very story-driven games. I could see that. 7, not so much. But they said they're going to be specifically focusing on character relationships and emotions, which could be interesting. We talked a little bit about that. Characters
I
like
called some of those out. Called some of those out in my satire ad.
Yeah, a little bit. Characters like Lewis are obviously going to get more screen time. Ada as well. They confirmed that. When asked about QuickTime events, they said that there will barely be any, and there won't be button prompts on screen. So I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah. The attaché case is making a return and is being upgraded. You can now pick different case styles and attach charms to them that affect gameplay. For example, the pre-order bonus gold case will increase the amount of money that enemies drops. So that's kind of interesting. Again, I'm worried about them adding a little bit too much. I don't want to say depth, but I guess it is depth because they're adding like crafting and they're, beefing up what you can do with the merchant. And then you can, alter gameplay mechanics with the attaché case that you use. You've got the knife with all these new features. They might be cramming a little bit too much into it, but I don't know. We'll see. What they've mentioned is interesting. It's not an immediate nope for me. I just need to kind of see how it's implemented. But again, shockingly, there's a little bit of hope to see how they implement these features, where they take the story, if they can ride that balance of darkness and seriousness with the humor, be true to the characters. Like everything that they've shown through the trailers is pretty spot on in terms of like, one-to-one comparison between the original and the new one. There's minor changes here and there, two potentially big ones with Ashley having the gun and whatnot.
Looking
But
30. I'm sorry. Ashley always looked like 17 or 18 in the game, and then like this one, she looks like Annette. Like she looks like 30, late 30s.
Yeah,
She
it's
just
the
looks
same thing
old.
with Rose. She's supposed to be like
Who the hell
16 or
is
some
Rose?
shit. Ethan's dumb daughter.
Who the
She's
hell's
supposed
Ethan? No, I'm kidding.
she's supposed to be 16 and she looks like she's like 30.
Ethan, he's the hands, right?
They don't know. Even the baby looked old. They don't know how to do young people. I don't know.
It's a 40-year-old Resident Evil baby. It's actually Salazar or Sadler, whichever one's the short one.
Wow.
I love Resident Evil 4.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. The only thing I have concerns on was like they mentioned that, yeah, you can now go pre-order Resident Evil 4. I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe I'll think about it. Looks up for the collector's edition. Not available to pre-order. Already?
Yeah.
Was it already sold out?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You can get it in a year and a half.
For like $600.
Yeah. Or if it goes on sale, $550.
You're kidding me. I literally with not even with the trailer finished,
Yeah, it's sold out like almost immediately.
Capcom.
They're already on eBay for like $400.
Oh, that's so dumb. Oh my god. Well,
yeah.
It's
whatever.
Yeah. But hey, at least you might want to buy a copy. We'll see. I'm hoping that they do one more trailer that will like fully sway me one way or the other. Like give me enough to get a good gauge on like where things are going and like how truthful it's going to be to the original and stuff like that. And then, I feel like I can make my judgment from there. I'm going to get it either way because I need to know, I need to make content off of it, and I need to at least give it a chance because of course it's Resident Evil 4. I have to at least try. I gave Village a chance. I bought a goddamn PS5 for this piece of shit.
You gave Village like 7 chances.
7. But yeah. I hope that my newfound excitement is not for nothing. I wasn't expecting to get any out of this game, but it's nice to have it. Speaking of crushed excitement, they talked about a couple other things regarding Resident Evil. It was a Resident Evil showcase. They talked about, or they didn't really talk about it, but they showed a little bit more on RE-verse or Reverse, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It looked better than it did.
Resident Evil Fortnite.
Basically, it looked better than last time they showed it, but it's still bullshit and shouldn't exist. And they showed a little bit more on Village Gold, which is garbage. And
Village is getting a remake.
that was the showcase. Oh my god! Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point. Like,
Part 2.
Anything is possible.
Village Part 1 remastered.
Make it all.
Remake.
Why
Yeah,
not?
I did not give a shit about like
Now
the
with an
Village
even
section.
taller lady
No.
that we shrunk, so she's back to regular size.
Yeah. But yeah, it was dumb too. They're talking about like, ooh, cloud version, and oh, it's going on Mac, and
Oh, we get VR and
yeah, buy it again. Yeah, have fun. Give it, buy a $300 headset and then buy Village again. Enjoy. Stupid.
Rose has superpowers.
God,
You know, we were gonna get like Resident Evil with Jake, and then we didn't, and now we're getting Resident Evil with Rose, who has powers. I'm like, we just went in circles, but now it's a girl.
See, that's what I've been saying. Like, people aren't acknowledging the fact that we've done it again. Like that whole like losing direction on what Resident Evil is and going more action and doing these dumb things. Like, we're there again, but this time no one's really paying attention to it. Everyone's just like, "Oh, this is great.
They could
Resident Evil, yay." Like,
redirect
what's
it to a drama. That could be good. Like Rose, whoever that is, and Jake can go on a ship, and then the ship hits an iceberg, and then Chris shows up and he has to save them. Yep. The end. There, I just wrote Resident Evil 10.
Let's do it.
Way ahead of it.
Oh my
or
god.
9 or wherever they are.
And that was confusing too, because in the last trailer or whatever they put up for Village, it's like, oh, this is the end of the Winter Saga, and now it said basically the opposite. Like
Winters
the
is
Winter
coming.
Saga continues or some shit. Like, which one is it? do you guys even know?
Yes.
Yes, it's both.
Two
Why
things
not?
can be real.
Fucking Capcom.
Fucking Village.
Outside of that, Silent Hill has come back from the dead.
It's not so Silent Hill now.
Not so. Yeah, it's a fart in the distance.
A fart.
Four
A fart in the distance.
different announced Silent Hill things. And only one of them I give it. This one I don't give a shit about.
Nobody gives a shit about most of these, but part of it is because they didn't even fucking say anything. I don't know why they did this huge showcase with all these games in it when nothing is ready. Like, the only thing that was mildly ready, we'll talk about in a minute, but most of these were just like, here's a very teensy tiny baby little teaser trailer and no information.
People texting on a phone. Looks like Dead by Daylight.
Right? So yeah, Silent Hill Ascension is the first one we'll talk about. Ascension will be an interactive live broadcast using CG cutscenes and will be streamed only one time only, as an experimental type of content. It'll be a choose your own adventure style story, somewhat like a Telltale game. Viewers will collectively influence the choices in the story that will affect the canon of Silent Hill in some regard. That's concerning. That's concerning. Choices will shape who lives and dies, as well as other key elements. The project is being produced by Genvid, which is a branch of J.J. Abrams' production company Bad Robot, Dead by Daylight Studios Behavior Interactive, and DJ2 Entertainment, who apparently specialize in game-to-TV content. I don't even know what the fuck that means. But yeah, it's going to be a one-shot. So I guess they're going to schedule at some point in the future in 2023 one stream. Whoever shows up can potentially alter the lore of Silent Hill forever.
Just
what the
join.
fuck?
All of us join and just keep yelling like distant fart, and we'll make it happen.
Distant
Sean.
fart.
Fart
Make
in
it
the
canon.
distance.
Make it canon.
Canon fart.
But yeah, this is probably a bad idea. I have no interest in anything like this. Again, disposable fucking media. I don't like it. Stop. And then to do this one time, so most people are probably going to miss out on this if they wanted to be a part of it to begin with. And like, what the fuck, to what degree are we changing the Silent Hill lore? What, I mean, are we going to get like a handful of fucking idiots that don't give a shit about Silent Hill going in and like remapping the history of Silent Hill. Like, what the fuck does that look like? That it doesn't sound good.
I already didn't give a fuck about it as I thought because it came off with the idea of multiplayer experience, and now this is just becoming even dumber.
Yeah.
I
And
hate
it
it.
sucks because like it could have been interesting, you know, having behavior and fucking JJ Abrams company involved. Like that could have been an interesting thing given who's involved making it, but the concept is just dumb. Why? And other companies have tried like similar things on a smaller scale and it never pans out. Like it never works well. You know, they
Hey,
tried to implement like group decisions in what was that game? Hidden Agenda or whatever, which I think was done by Ready at Dawn, I think, who did Until Dawn. Or is that right?
what?
I can't remember the developer's name. But anyways, the people that made Until Dawn, they made a game that's kind of a similar concept on a smaller scale where like I think 5 people, maybe more than that, I'm not sure, can like get on their phone or whatever and watch
Oh, it's a
somebody play
couch
this
co-op.
game. And
Yeah.
then everybody will like vote, oh, like I want you to do this decision, and whoever
Yeah,
get
it's
like whatever
stupid.
decision gets the most votes, the story goes that direction, right? And that game did terrible. Like nobody liked that game. It was like clearanced immediately. So why? Like we have plenty of like examples of this that are out there enough. Same thing with just like to a different degree, but it's kind of similar style. The Netflix choose your own adventure kind of thing that they were doing, right? With Black Mirror, right? That didn't even do that well either, right? So like why do we keep trying to push this like, oh, social experience shit?
I like the
Everybody
Minecraft
gets
one.
to participate. Like clearly nobody gives a shit. The Minecraft one.
Yeah, they did a Minecraft on Netflix. It was like a little animation show or movie or whatever, and you get to like choose like the paths of the characters. I like
Yeah.
that, but it was like with Minecraft, so it's not like
Yeah.
affecting an actual show. Like I know
Right.
the
And
Bandersnatch thing was coming into a show that pre-existed.
yeah. And then you're taking that concept and you're like, oh, well, we're going to do this thing where people get to change the direction of where the games are going. That's not a good idea. Like, let's not do that.
It's already been going in a bad direction since post Team Silent.
So let's go down a worse path. Yay.
Hey, super quick, can you put the image of the Silent Hill thing back up for a sec?
Yeah.
And then the guy's head has like 2 hands giving the middle finger, which is basically what they're doing.
Oh my god.
And he's just like, fuck y'all.
They probably did that on purpose.
Yeah. I'm like, that's what I'm seeing. You're talking about how they're like, we're going to do one stream and anyone who can't be there, fuck you.
Yeah, and that image is concerning too, because like that's not a great design
It
for
just
one.
looks like a giant poo monster with
So-
like armor on his shoulders.
That one looks like a clicker.
That one does look like a
clicker. Instead of the
And
spores, it's just middle fingers.
You can't go from fucking Pyramid Head to this. All
That's
right?
Pyramid Head without his like pyramid.
That doesn't fucking work.
Took his helmet
And
off and
then-
he's just like a giant butthole.
And then again, this is about Silent Hill, you know, Midwestern town or whatever. Why is he like a samurai thingy? Why does he have like samurai armor? What is happening? What
Looks
is
like it's
this?
solar panels, but they're broken.
It's weird. It's weird.
I just wanted to point out the middle fingers. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah,
All
so
right,
there's
that's
that.
1 out of 4 down.
Then we got this one, which they
I don't give a shit about this one.
I don't either, and they gave even less information about this one.
hell is this?
Silent Hill.
This just town shed or
Silent
town
Hill Townfall.
Townfall. And the whole narration makes it sound like, hey, we're doing the we brought you to this town because you're gonna get punished. Yay, Silent Hill 2 again. I'm fucking done with them trying to do Silent Hill 2 in post Team Silent games. I was so can you tell that I'm really triggered because I'm sick of them fucking trying to do Silent Hill 2.
Really cool looking Game Boy though.
Well, they outside of maybe 3, that is kind of where things went, is like, you know, Silent Hill is the town that punishes people. So that's not necessarily just a Silent Hill 2 thing. That's where it started. But that's kind of what it became after that.
Like when 3 and 1, that was, the whole cult thing, but then like 4 was a continuation of another cult thing from a piece of newspaper that they spun off. But then since then,
Henry was also being punished too, kind of.
I don't know. That sounds like a bit of a stretch. Henry was kind of just...
He was locked in his fucking apartment.
He was locked because of a curse laid by like Walter Sullivan trying to do a ritual because he wants to be with his mom or some dumb shit that the cult made him believe. So it's still like what Silent Hill 1 and 3 were doing. They're both trying to do some cult shit for their own respective beliefs. In Walter Sullivan's case, his abandonment issues made him think that the room is his mother, and the only way to get back to with this room his mother is to do the 21 Sacraments thing. Bada boom, bada bing. There was no like real like Silent Hill 2 shit. There was only just like symbolism out there to show abandonment issues and the womb thing and stuff like that. That's kind of what they did with the Lessa. Like they did the whole symbolic of burning and her bullying and the thing she feared, stuff like that. There was all of that manifestation for one person, like the main antagonist. Where in Silent Hill 2 case, it was like the manifestation of the people getting punished.
That's fair. I haven't played that game. I haven't played 4 in a long time, and I didn't like it, and I don't remember much about it. So I assumed he was, being fucking locked in his room for some kind of Silent Hill bullshit.
Not for him.
But that's fine.
He was just
either way.
Yeah.
It's still like Silent Hill 2 is the big one, right? Nothing's done what Silent Hill 2 has done. So of course that's where they're gonna fucking go to because that's where the money is. But yes, doing it the way that they're doing with Townfall, where they're like shoving it in your face, like you're gonna be judged and come to the town, and like really do you like part of the appeal of Silent Hill is that it's not, there's layers of like complexity of it, but to just kind of at face value throw all that shit out there like, oh, we're gonna punish you, and like that's not what Silent Hill is. Like you're fucking everything up before we even know what the game is, like stop. You don't need to do that. But anyway,
narration is already bad form of storytelling.
Not a good start. They didn't really say anything in terms of like what the game's going to be, how it's going to play, nothing. They just gave us basically a developer, which is Annapurna Interactive, which is interesting because they have a strong pedigree. They've done games like Stray, which is doing well right now. They did Outer Wilds. They did What Remains of Edith Finch and Gone Home. Those are all like really popular games that like won awards and stuff like that. So like it's a good developer with a lot of potential, but that doesn't mean anything if the direction is not there. Like what is this game? Who's writing this game? And what the fuck is it going to be about? So again, there's not enough here to drive any kind of excitement, only concern. So why did they show it to us? It makes no sense. The trailer had some kind of a hidden message in it that fans, I guess, decoded that says whatever heart this town had has now stopped. And people are theorizing that this is going to be like another dive into the origins of Silent Hill or some kind of a like redemption arc for the town. Either one of those, stop.
Nope. Stop trying to explain Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Please. Thank you.
We don't need to know. That's part of the fun is the mystery. If you eliminate that, it's gone. Like the thing that we are going, the reason why we're playing Silent Hill is gone. The mystery, the suspense, the intrigue, it all goes away. Stop. So yeah, we'll see what the fuck that becomes.
I have more to say about that, but I'll wait till after a certain part of this Silent Hill news comes up to just get into that.
Enough.
Next.
Fair enough. Next,
the one that I can.
Silent Hill F.
This is the only one I give a shit about. Because, like, I'll let you speak first and then I'll speak my opinion.
Okay. So, from what I could tell, this is going to be the next mainline Silent Hill game and will, to my knowledge, be the second time that the series has been taken outside of, Silent Hill as a town, and the first time that the series has stepped foot outside of like taking place in the US because now it's taking place in Japan. But it looks like Ascension might also be taking place in Japan or somewhere else. I'm not sure. But it's interesting to see a new landscape. It's concerning. I like the style. It looks interesting, but I don't. The game is called Silent Hill. Like, why? The further we go outside of the town, like even if it's just to kind of like draw people into the town or whatever, the more kind of nonsensical it becomes. Like, is it just turning into like a fucking alternate dimension that can just pull anybody from the universe into it at will? I mean, what are we doing here? It's supposed to just be, like, I don't know. It's just it's annoying. It's concerning, but I like the style. It looks interesting. The graphics look nice if it's in engine. I can't tell. It looks like it's all CG. What did you think? Why are you so excited about it? This is not what I want from a mainline Silent Hill title. Like, this
So
is something I would like
get
to
you.
see from a spin-off. And it could be a spin-off. I don't know.
That's how
But-
I'm thinking about it as.
But if you look at like what they've shown us, we have a lot of very obvious spin-offs where this one seems like it's more focused. This looks like this is going to be like a mainline title, like a AAA title. Like, money is going into this. This is going to be the ones that get a physical release, a console release. So like, what does that mean? Like, what is this game going to be and why?
So here's how I'm seeing this. Like I get the understanding like where you want to go with this. Like you're very preservation of what Silent Hill is, right?
Right.
For me, I've already been done with Silent Hill since 1 through 4, right? And ever since then, it was just like everyone's just trying to do Silent Hill 2 again, and it just keeps going on and on. And they keep trying to bring it back to that. But the thing is, like, I'm still going to touch upon what I want to really talk about later, but like, you can't really make any more Silent Hill sequels that touch upon Silent Hill. It's done. The story was done since 3, and anything else was done since 4. But I see this as a whole completely like, it's got the Silent Hill name in it. It's going to have elements of Silent Hill in it, but it's going to be like this whole new, refresh, something completely different from what we've been seeing for the past few thousand Silent Hill, post-Team Silent Hill games. And I'm fucking with what we've seen. And then, of course, the biggest thing that every anime fan has been wilding about is the fact that it's being directed by Ryukishi 7. So it's like how we almost had Silent Hills, right? But then we don't get Silent Hills, but now we get someone else who also has a big, in the anime community, reputation, Ryukishi. He did a series called When They Cry. That was like one of his big main series that has mostly got its US release. Like his When They Cry, when the cicadas cry was the first big one. His story involved a town and a virus that spread that got crazier with paranoia. He had some really brutal shit that happened in that town, like a whole mystery element to it, and it's a really good horror, psychological horror, anime, mystery, violent murder series. And then he did like an actual traditional murder mystery series called When the Seagulls Cry, which take place on an island, closed room mysteries, witches and shit, witches in air quotes. And so he's got like this big, nice, and there's more stuff that he's made, but unfortunately, like some of them either are translated or I was never on top of his stuff after that. But based off the two things that I've experienced, him being paired with Silent Hill to do like this original, from my perspective, original take excites me. I'm curious. I want to see more of this to see what this new, different, fresh Silent Hill experience would be like. Because we were going to potentially get that with Silent Hills, and then Konami pulled a Konami. And now we got this. So on the perspective of, I want something new and different from what we've been getting, I'm excited. The shit with the face being cut open fucking freaked me the fuck out. But, this guy has written scenes where people rip nails out of people's hands or stab each other with the neck, or I see eyeballs pop out of people's faces when they get hit by a bat. So there is potentially this nice horror or even body horror or some form of nice horror that's going to be made with this title being under his direction, and that is why I'm like, I'm for this. This is the only thing I give a shit about, and the only thing I'm excited for.
None of that landed for me when they were putting up like the names that with the people that were involved. I didn't know who any of that was. So like I got nothing out of that. So I didn't get that element that you got out of it. So that's I understand that. But again, it goes back to like if we're doing something radically different, why not just do a new IP? You know, like I understand, doing something fresh and new and even like with what they showed in the trailer with like um the things growing out of
Little
the
vibe
girl
things
and
and
the
the
face.
parasite like things.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
parasites and the face coming off. That's all great and interesting, and I'm totally for that. But that doesn't scream Silent Hill to me. Like it doesn't feel like a Silent Hill game. The only things that really felt like Silent Hill in this trailer were like that screenshot right there. Like there's some imagery that kind of invokes Silent Hill a little bit, but like we need to get to a point where it's like, well, where do we draw the line? Like what the fuck is Silent Hill and where do we cross the limit? Because then we just turn into Village again. Like Village has elements of a good game. It shouldn't be a Resident Evil game. Like if you're going to cross those lines, then just make something new, make something different. Get people like this game has, where you can throw out the name and drive excitement through the creative process, right? Like we've got these 4 people involved and they've done these projects, so get excited for this new IP, right? That's how you can do that, and that's great. And there needs to be more of that in the industry, because we have nothing but sequels and remakes and bullshit. So like this is the perfect market to do something new and interesting, and I support that 100%. But when you say it's Resident Evil, you say it's Silent Hill, it should be those things. Like this game just doesn't seem like it's that.
I have a point for that, but we'll get to that when we talk about the last part of Silent Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
There's a whole thing that I have for that, but that's reserved specifically for this next part.
Yeah. And it's been a while since I played through like every single Silent Hill game, so it's hard for me to kind of tie things together and like come up with a cohesive reasoning as to like how like Silent Hill functions and whatnot. Like I need to refresh myself before I dive into that topic. But to me, it's like Silent Hill. Like I know that Silent Hill is more than a town, but it started from a town, a Midwestern town, right? So that's the core of it. So when we start going outside of it, like even with 4, and it's like, well, now it's in this room, and like we start doing all these weird fucking things, and now it's in Japan, and now it's this, and now it's that. Like to me, we're crossing those lines of like this. We're just making bullshit excuses to force Silent Hill into these other narratives or these other stories that we want to tell. And you shouldn't do that, because you're just shitting on the source material and you're forcing something that just doesn't fit into this other thing, where that thing could have thrived independently and been great. But since you're trying to put these 2 things together that don't make sense, you're doing both of them a disservice. That's my concern. Fucking stop it. We're doing that a lot. We're just taking, oh, this is a brand name that's going to sell, so we're going to do whatever the fuck we want with it, whether that's, trying to be creative or experimenting with something, turning it into Call of Duty, whatever the fuck that looks like. They're just using the brand name for marketing, and that's bullshit. There you go.
It's fucking bullshit.
Fucking bullshit. One more thing we have to talk about for Silent
Ew.
Hill. Wow. And we're going to watch the trailer together.
Oh, great.
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Hill.
I can't wait to watch this trailer that was like made in those same engines where they make fan-made machinimas.
Wow. I can tell you're excited about this.
Oh yeah, I'm about to sound like you. I'm gonna even start talking like you. I'm gonna get my Sean impersonation on. I start gritting my teeth.
Oh shit!
While you do that, I'll just. It's fucking bullshit.
All right, here we go.
Bullshit.
Oh, I'm out.
this a Village trailer?
Wow.
Yeah, it's Ethan. I recognize those hands.
Ew.
Could she
really be here? Waiting for me?
No.
Ew, who is that guy?
It's Leon.
Died of that damn disease 3 years ago.
Ethan, get it right.
Ethan Leon. Lethan.
Lethan.
Ethan.
Oh,
Hey, maybe
Or
you should
E-
check the trunk of the car.
In
Wow.
my restless dreams, I see that town.
It should be raining. There should be more
Silent
weather
Hill.
effects.
Look at the wind.
Those leaves.
Where's the snow?
Oh, they're gone. Oh, there it is. Blooper.
Layers of fear glitches.
That's me.
He's just trying to shove him into the sink, guys.
Yeah, he's like, don't look here.
I know why I needed you.
It looks like Leon from RE2 remake. But like older.
But it's all over now.
Is this downpour?
I don't need you anymore.
It is downpouring. Is he the man?
I'm ready.
Nah, he looks like a wimp.
Oh. But like, isn't that the game you used?
Yeah, I gave him the man,
The man.
but this one, this is not the man.
Oh,
It's the boy.
the nerd.
I'm the boy. Oh my god, look, it's Pyramid Head. Oh, I'm so hyped.
Ah.
Mary actually looks pretty though. I'll give them that. That's it.
If ever you do a machinima with this,
Fuck
you
this.
have to have the person in Pyramid Head just be like,
Just fuck this, okay?
it's Credence.
So tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me your
It
thoughts.
looked better than the
Ain't
RE4
nothing
remake
but a
trailer.
heartache.
Because what?
I disagree.
What?
Oh no, you said tell me why, and I said ain't nothing but a heartache.
Oh.
Tell me why.
And then Jazz said it looked better than the RE4
It
remake. I was
looks-
like,
But the thing
I
is,
disagree.
I've played RE4 and I'm already like biased to that. But I just feel like this, I don't know the original game, so it probably is shit. But to me, it looks,
yeah, there is actually a side-by-side
nicer.
comparison shot between like this image right here versus like the original, and I'm telling you that the original was way ahead of its time. So allow me to start breaking into this whole thing that I've been holding on the backload. I literally watched this person's video about like why it's so hard to fucking make Silent Hill sequels, and somewhere in this discussion he brought up like what a remake would be like. Okay, so Silent Hill, the one thing that Silent Hill has a hard time doing that you were mentioning that Resident Evil does is that when Resident Evil has its sequels, sometimes they'll have their returning cast, stories, and if they don't have like the returning cast and their stories to go along with it, they at least have some gameplay elements that still remind you that hey, you're at least still playing a Resident Evil game, right? Even with Village, how far gone it was from being a Resident Evil story, there was still gameplay elements that were still holding up some people. Though I can't speak to that because I didn't fucking touch Village, and I will never touch it with a 10-foot fucking pole. But at the end of the day, there was still
Proud of
Resident
you.
Evil elements in gameplay, right? So like even through 4, 5, 6, fucking 7. So Silent Hill has a hard time doing that because they can't do returning characters except for the exception of 1 and 3 because, you know, for the most part, most Silent Hill games have someone new story, new exploration, some stuff like that. Maybe they'll tend to some stuff like how the Walt Sullivan was a newspaper article turned into a fucking game that wasn't intended to be named Silent Hill, but it turned to Silent Hill 4. So That's the thing. Like I said, they already did their Silent Hill story wrapped up. When they retreaded it with 3, they wrapped up everything Silent Hill can do. So after that, after post Team Silent, it's just like they're stretching it. It's like you said, it's going farther away from like what it started as, because what it started as is done. They tried to do Origins and fuck Origins for what it tried to do and explain Silent Hill and the whole everything prequel dumb bullshit that Origins did. And the only nicest thing they ever did in terms of that was like the Shattered Memories as a spin-off alternate timeline thing approach to Silent Hill 1 in a way that was interesting. So then he also talked about like what remaking means. Like every part of like the Silent Hill experience is the way it was presented, the artist's intention, because it is a piece of art. That is what the game is. So like Silent Hill 1, the horror of Silent Hill 1 is in its PlayStation 1 graphics and the whole fill in the gaps, the way it's presented, all that jazz. And when people are gushing over like Silent Hill 2 or 3, like part of the artistic presentation is with the PlayStation 2. Like you cannot separate Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 from the console of origin, the PlayStation. They had their limitations. They worked around that. They did their cinematography, their lighting. Like I said, like for the example, the way James looks in this reflection versus the one they had on there from the shadows, the way it what it represents, the emotions, the tone, all of that jazz. Every single element that they presented in that game was done the way that it was intended to deliver its message. And so trying to recreate that would be like, why? You already got its masterpiece attached to the console of intention. Trying to remake that will kind of just lose the message in favor for what? Better graphics? But is it still going to uphold like the same artistic value and intention behind it? No, it's gone. This is already like proof of that right here. They can go and like bring in every single detail from Angela's story of her dark story to Eddie's story, and like they could do all they can to like bring it back there on like this new engine that fucking I honestly think just like I said, it just looks like that shit you make machinimas with for like those high detail models. Some people make fucking porn with it, and that's the biggest distraction for me. It just looks like one of those porn made animations.
So watching porn ruined this for you? Is that what you're saying?
No, just saying it. Just like it doesn't look
That's
good.
What I'm hearing.
And then on top of that, the company that is working on this, they're outsourcing as if we hadn't already had a bad remastered experience with Silent Hill 2 and 3, or people that made a game like Layers of Fear, where I was shown a clip of a guy who exploited this baby jump scare where when you walk down a certain hallway, a baby runs into a wall and then like floats away all freaky. And he exploited where he kept going back and forth the triggering thing to summon multiple babies to crash into a wall. And it was the most hilarious shit that I've ever seen. These people are working on this remake. And I'm just like, with my already like established points from something that I literally watched a few weeks ago to then seeing this is like the Antichrist of everything that was being asked for. And then of course I'm gonna mention that the low-hanging fruit of Silent Hill 2 being remake. Oh, whoop-de-fucking-do. Congratulations. They could have done one, but either ways, remaking it in general is just, why would you do that? I was going to go fucking play Silent Hill and stream that for my Halloween streams, and now it would just feel like I'm clout chasing, but maybe I'll still do it because I fucking love Silent Hill, and I don't want this dumb 3 announced stuff to get in my fucking way. So
it's funny. Like I both agree and disagree with a lot of what you're saying. Like
I figured.
I think that yeah, you're kind of right about them like attaining their vision to a degree, because the PlayStation 2, let's be real, not a powerful machine. And you're talking about a game that's built around emotion, right? Like that's a big theme here. And yeah, to a degree, you know, motion engine and all that shit in the PlayStation 2, they were able to attain a degree of that. To say that they hit their vision, I would disagree with that because like today's technology, like you can see it in this trailer. Like you can shit on this trailer whatever to whatever degree you want, but there's a lot of visual emotion in the face, right? And that brings a lot of potential to tell an emotional story through literal emotion rather than words and dialogue. Like there's a lot of potential to communicate these emotions and the feeling and the dread and the sorrow and a lot of the themes that they portray in Silent Hill 2 using this kind of visual fidelity. Right. And initially when I first watched this trailer, it did kind of put me off the way that James looked. And I felt like there was kind of a little like they were pushing maybe a little bit too emotion because I'm used to the original vision of what that bathroom scene looks like, right? So if I contrast them and I'm looking at the original compared to this one, it looks like it's being oversold. But again, you have to think about it. Like if you look at that cutscene, you know, like James does the thing with his face and the CG looks great. And you did have the emotion in that moment. Again, still a little stiff, could be better. But when you cut to the in game, it's gone. It's there a little bit, but not to the degree that I feel it should have if you're talking about fulfilling the vision, right? So I feel like something like this does have the potential to meet that aspect of the storytelling. And Bloober, the it's a good team for what it is. The thing for me is what are they supposed to do? Capcom basically dissolved itself. Team Silent is gone. They they stopped making video games for a long time. Like, do they even have development teams outside of making soccer games? I don't think they do. So they had to reach out to somebody. And at this point in time, the market and the development teams are in America for the most part. So like I don't want them to have to come to a US developer or there's I don't know if they're Swedish or whatever they are, a non-Japanese developer. For them, you know, they have to reach out to somebody else, somebody that has the development teams to do what they need to do. I feel like they were forced into doing that. And Bloober's not, you know, the biggest company out there or anything. They were kind of an indie developer, more or less. And they at least they are passionate about it. You know, that it's kind of a double-edged sword. You know, the developers, the US developers that took over on, you know, Downpour and Homecoming, they were fans as well. So that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but there's the potential of them being invested. And if they know what they're doing and they care enough about it, that can influence the quality of the product. So there's potential there. And then Bloober has been doing, you know, widely recognized, fairly quality horror titles that a lot of people have been playing with, from what I've seen, minimal glitches and whatnot. I've never heard about the ones that you're talking about. I haven't played them firsthand, so I can't vouch for that. But from what I've seen, from what I've heard, and from, you know, the praise that I've seen them get, you know, it's not a bad, you know, their options are limited as to what they can do and where they can go. So you have to kind of compromise in that regard. Outside of your your porn comparison with the CG, I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but it looks good. I mean, like look at the image. If that's an in-game image, which my understanding is that it's supposed to be an in-game image, you look at that, look at the detail in the hair. And we talked about the emotion, you know, they're conveying emotion pretty well, I feel like, you know, the sadness and the dread in his face is pretty solid, I feel like. You know, you can see the stubble in on his face, you can see like the details in his skin, the creases in his hand. Like look at the detail in the reflection and the mud smears and the, you know, the residue of the water and whatnot. When they show the rain, it looks great. The fog has always been a problem with Silent Hill. From what I can tell, it looks pretty good. It hasn't looked that good in a long time. You can't argue with that. And, you know, there's potential there. I am very skeptical about this game. I'm not completely on board. I'm in the same boat that I am with Resident Evil 4. Like what they're showing has a lot of potential, but it could easily go either way. Probably more likely to go the way of this is garbage, but there's more hope here than I was expecting to get, just like with that Resident Evil 4 trailer. You know, in the landscape of gaming and survival horror, this is a lot better than we probably should have expected. And I was not expecting it to be what it is. I was expecting less, so I'm comfortable with that. And I'm a little bit excited and hopeful for this too, in the same way that I am with Resident Evil 4. I'm probably going to be disappointed, but you know, there is a little bit of hope there. You know, they got Akira Yamaoka to come back to compose the music, which I don't feel is really showcased that well in this trailer. It's good. You know, the music is good. It doesn't hit you the way that the old games did, but it's one track. You know, that potential is still there. It's like just for Konami to even come back at all and do this after everything that happened, and for it to be what it is, I feel like is a win and deserves a little bit of optimism.
But because it's Konami, I'm still
right. Just the fact
I
that
have
it's
a lot
Konami
of low
alone.
Alex
expectations.
not here, so I will do this for him.
Yeah, I mean, just starting at the top, like just because it's Konami, this is probably not going to go well. You know, we
Bunch
can
of
lead with that.
wankers.
But again, you know, that you should set your expectations properly. Like, expect it to be shit, expect it to under deliver. But given that situation, this isn't bad. It could be a lot fucking worse, in my opinion. And again, they're probably going to fuck it up, but still, I was pleased with what I saw. I was not expecting to see what they gave us, and I'm hopeful for it to be good, because what's the alternative? Silent Hill fucking dies again, and maybe it deserves to. You know, like you said, Silent Hill kind of told its story and it doesn't really need to exist anymore. I personally think that there's ways that they could do it if they started over again, you know?
Yeah, Silent Hill F.
Maybe disregard, potentially. We'll see what they do with that.
What does the F stand for?
Fail.
Fuck.
Fuck.
But like, you know, stay away from the origin story shit. You know, they could even find a way to turn Silent Hill into like a, you know, it's all about the torture and individual people's stories and punishing them. They could do that. It would be hard to do, but there's plenty of interesting stories that creative people could tell about, you know, the struggles of, you know, the personal burden of your sins and things that you've done and regrets, and you know, like you accidentally killed somebody or whatever, or like all these different things that could happen in life that you torture yourself over, and then it manifests in a hellish landscape. Like, that's a really interesting creative environment that you should have like unlimited like potential for. Like, there's so many things that you could do in that universe that could be really interesting, but you have to get somebody that can do it properly, and you have to get somebody that can keep the aesthetics, you know, the visual appeal, the vibe, the themes of the original properly. And that's really hard to do, and maybe even impossible. I don't know. But it is possible to do. They just have to do it in the right way. Dante doesn't agree.
No, I'm not a matter of disagreeing. I'm hearing you, and like I said, I'm holding the we'll see what happens when we get there.
Yeah, Dante is unable to really appreciate it because porn ruined it for him. But he can't. He's just
that's my biggest surprise is that you're like shitting on the visuals because
porn.
It looks like the same shit for like, yeah, Diz, you missed the R4 talk.
Yeah,
it just looks like something you see in porn. But yeah, that's it.
But if you like compare what you're looking at now to 90% of what we're getting today, this looks substantially better than your average game right now.
I
like,
can't
by a lot.
Like it's because of the whole like I have the mentality of just because it has the better graphics does not make it the better game thing in my head. So it's not like it might. You're not wrong. It's just that whenever I'm hearing people praise graphics, I'm just like, okay, but is it a game?
Yeah.
So like that's why I'm gonna.
That's a fair criticism. And again, I've said nothing in terms of gameplay. This could be a shit show. You know, they did mention that it's going to be like third person over the shoulder. Like they said that they want to stay true to the original experience. Again, what that looks like real world, we're gonna have to wait and see. But at least they're saying on paper, right, that that's what they're going to do. So there's potential that we'll get what we need to get out of it. And if it looks as good as they're showing, like we said, visuals are not everything, but this is just a teaser trailer, and it's a long ass teaser trailer at that. But like all they can really showcase right now, the game's not even close to being done from what they've said. Not bad. All they can do is showcase the graphics. The graphics are pretty. Like you have to give it that. The visuals look great. And we were talking about the importance of emotion in the storytelling, and graphics do contribute to that substantially. So in that regard, it is important. But outside of everything, like everything in every other way, graphics are not important. But in terms of like telling a story that's emotional and believable and through facial expression, it matters. So I'll just say that. And again, if they keep these graphics, they said that there's going to be 0 loading times, which is interesting. You can explore the entire town, the entire game, no loading transitions between gameplay to cutscene. So that's pretty cool as well. And that's pretty much all they really had to say about the game. So we don't really have anything. They said it's far, far away. Probably not going to see it till like 2025.
In a galaxy.
But yeah, I was just expecting. I watched this the same way that I watched the Resident Evil showcases, where it's like, oh God, what are they going to do now? Like that's how I started both the Resident Evil showcase and the Silent Hill event, whatever they called it. And to my surprise, it was better than I was expecting. And that's kind of where I'm landing. I'm trying to be more positive. All right. But like legitimately, I got a lot more out of both events than I thought I was going to get. So I'm holding out hope that they're not going to be complete garbage. We'll see. I'm still expecting them to underwhelm me, but at least I have a little teeny tiny spark of hope that I didn't have before. That was my takeaway from both.
False hope is still hope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
It has
Optimism.
hope in it.
It has the word hope in it.
What is it?
You know what it also
impossible
has?
is just another kind of
Being
possible.
positive is hard. This gets it. And I'm
Do you know what-
trying. All right. I'm defending these fucking pieces of garbage to the best of my ability.
Do you know what hope also has in it?
Disappointment.
Oh.
Ho. Yeah, Jazz gets it.
And P.
Yeah, it has P. Pet.
P and hose together.
Okay.
It falls close to like a similar quote that I like from Dragon Prince, where impossible is just another kind of possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just has I'm in it.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep. That's gonna do it. There's survival horror hope, even if it's minuscule. Between Silent Hill having a chance, Resident Evil 4 having a chance. We got Callisto Protocol that has a good chance to be good. That looks promising. We got the Dead Space remake that has potential as well. We have Alan Wake 2. Like there's a little bit of hope. I'm trying to latch onto that. Survival horror has a chance to come back and
little
not
hope.
be fucking garbage. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, no games this week. No read your comments. We already ran longer than expected, so no Alec. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here. Hold on, I gotta do a preparation thing.
Yay!
Oh, hold on. Distract. Jess. More.
These nuts.
Okay, there we go. Well
Distractions.
done.
Let me
Well
get my
done,
gun.
everybody.
All right, let's.
Way to go. This
gun.
has been episode 175. Thanks for joining us, everybody. If you enjoy the podcast or any of the content at the Ward, please consider helping us grow by sharing our content, liking the video, and subscribing. You can also support us through patreon.com. patreon.com/thewordproductions to get exclusive content, or buy merchandise like t-shirts, hats, and more on our website, the-word.com/shop. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
I shit Dante.
Is this the last episode before Halloween?
This is having a stroke.
No, there's one
there's
more.
another one before.
There's one more.
I love it.
All right, we'll
Never
see you.
changed it.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye,
Blah, blah,
guys.
blah.
Bum. It has to be this way. Yeah. Why won't you die? Man machine son. Punch me, Jack. Do it. You can't stop my metal here. Yeah. Standing here, I realize you were just like me, trying to reinvent history. But two's two gun, the right from wrong. When your God is down, I think we'll both agree that violence breeds violence. But in the end, it has to be this way.